game tonight. Number 16, Vanderbilt, taking on Tennessee at Thompson-Boling Arena. Vanderbilt has never won a game in this arena. They are 0-28, but they did beat Tennessee in Nashville a few weeks ago. Tennessee second to South Carolina. Vanderbilt in that fourth spot, so important because in the SEC tournament, the top 4 teams get a double bye. Kentucky, very disappointing now, just 5-5 so far in the league. And we welcome you to Thompson-Boling Arena. Pam Ward along with Carolyn Peck. And these two teams did play just a few weeks ago. Very good matchup. Vandy came from 10 down to win it. It's a great rivalry.
It is all about pride, though. This is an in-state rivalry, and whenever these two teams meet, you know something interesting is going to happen. You see Melanie Balcom in her black and white, Holly Warlick with the orange jacket on today.
Time to go one-on-one as we revisit that win in Nashville 4 weeks ago by Vandy. A great backcourt in Lister and Fogey.
They are the only 2 Vanderbilt players that average in double figures, and they had a field day the first time against Tennessee. Got to be the focus of the Tennessee defense. And what Tennessee needs is Isabel Harrison, their anchor in the paint, to stay out of foul trouble and in the game. When they have her inside, they could do some damage against the Commodores.
Now Lister and Fogey combined for 45% of Vandy's scoring, and a freshman in the lineup now.
Marquez Webb went back into the starting lineup against Texas A&M. They need a big body inside. The freshman has got to learn to play without getting into foul trouble.
And for the Lady Vols, Megan Simmons leading them in scoring at 15 points per game, but Burdick back in the starting lineup.
And Burdick has brought a lot of energy and a lot of size to the Lady Vols, which she was inserted at that 3 position.
Holly Warlick in her second season in charge at Tennessee, her 29th year overall on the staff, was the SEC Coach of the Year last year. Melanie Balcom, no one has won more games at Vanderbilt than she has, at least 20 wins every year since she got there a dozen years ago, sitting at 17 wins right now. And they are up against it, trying to win in this building. Mississippi State and Alabama, the other SEC schools that have never won at Thompson-Boling. And Ariel Massengale is missing her 6th straight game. So Andrea Carter is at the point for Tennessee.
And Vanderbilt in their matchup zone, but Tennessee immediately goes inside. They have to feed Isabel Harrison down low.
They certainly have mismatch advantages as far as size is concerned. And Carolyn mentioned that Harrison only played 10 minutes in that game in Nashville 4 weeks ago. Got a technical and fouled out of the game in her hometown. Webb took steps. And Marquez Webb was very important in that game in Nashville, frustrated Harrison.
She was very physical inside and bodied up and was able to draw charges on Isabel Harrison that got her in that early foul trouble.
And there you see Tennessee has only lost 27 games all time here. Only, again, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and Alabama, the ones who have not won here in the SEC. Georgia is the only team to come in here and actually win home and away against Tennessee, and they're feeding the big girl.
You have to. You have to. They have such a height advantage over Vanderbilt, and so why not go inside to Isabel Harrison?
She has all 4 of Tennessee's points. Fogey guarded too closely by Andrea Carter, who picks up the personal foul. Carter starting her 9th game of the season in there for the aforementioned Ariel Massengale, who is sitting out, took a knock in the head a few games ago against Florida, and still is not ready to go.
What I like, though, what Tennessee is doing is Holly Warlick is delivering a message. Want your intensity on defense. So she started this game in a man-to-man defense. Every player is responsible. You're not relying on help like you would in the zone.
Beatty tries to go inside on Burdick and can't get it to fall. Burdick comes away with it. Tennessee looking to run Simmons, guarded by Lister. Simmons in the last few games, her shooting percentage is up. Her assists are up as well. Last 3 games, she's hit 53% of her threes. That's Carter with the 2. Tennessee out of the gate with a quick 6-0 lead. Lister, so quick, but could not get it to fall on the reverse.
Oh, she was wide open.
Lister and Fogey combined for 43 of Vandy's 74 points in that win in Nashville.
To watch Tennessee's offense so far right now. In the first 20 seconds of the offense, they're looking to go inside, and then if it's not there, then it'll be the opportunity for the guards.
Terrific cut by Simmons, but that's a charge drawn by Marquez Webb.
Marquez rotating over as soon as Megan Simmons goes back door. She's there. Good charge, and she was well outside the restricted area.
Melanie Balcom very happy with the way Webb has played, says that she's a very smart, passionate player. Actually would like her to shoot more, and when Fogy shoots, it often goes down.
Megan Simmons has got to put more pressure on Fogy. She can't give her that much of a look.
Vandy had missed its first 2 field goals. Tennessee is 3 for 3.
Simmons and Carter have their hands full. They have the assignment of the 2 seniors, the double-figure scores for Vanderbilt.
Fogy left open, bang. She's got 2 in a row. And boy, Lister and Fogy work so well together. They've both been playing and starting for 4 years.
And Tennessee's got to recognize those are 2 players you don't help off of. If you give up the drive, you give up a layup, but don't leave either one of those 2 seniors.
Fogy almost took it from Simmons. Burdick, that's one of her spots, isn't it, over there on the baseline?
And she has shot the ball so much better since Holly Willett put her in the starting lineup.
Averaging almost 8.5 points per game on the season. Tennessee up by 2. Fogy with a couple of threes for Vanderbilt. And this is a team that will like to take some time off the shot clock.
Well, they're very disciplined with their execution.
Webb off glass, put it in for her first bucket.
Melanie Balcom last night on the phone told me that Vanderbilt has the big 2. We talk about the seniors going inside. Isabel Harrison. But they have the 2 seniors in Lister and Fogy, and she had a meeting with Marquez Webb and said, in order to be successful, we got to have a big 3. You've got to be that 3rd player that Vanderbilt can go to.
Lister through the paint again, gets it to Webb, and that is the 2nd time that Marquez has been called for steps. Timeout on the floor. Good start here. Tennessee leading Vandy 10-8.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Verizon. Getting free tablets and phones on the best network. That's powerful. And Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. The perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter.
How do action heroes walk away from movie explosions and never look back? Lobster, that's how.
At Golden Corral, add a North Atlantic lobster tail for just $3.99. Just $3.99. Only at Golden Corral.
When you pay too much for cable, you feel down. When you feel down, you stay in bed. When you stay in bed, they give your job to someone new. When they give your job to someone new, he has a lot to learn. When he has a lot to learn, mistakes are made. And when mistakes are made, you get body slammed by a lowland gorilla. Don't get body slammed by a lowland gorilla. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
You have time to shop for car insurance today?
Yeah.
I heard about Progressive's Name Your Price tool. I guess you can tell them how much you want to pay, and it gives you a range of options to choose from.
Huh? I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. What's the guest room situation?
The Name Your Price tool, making the world a little more progressive.
Start the engine and shift through all 8 speeds of a transmission connected to more standard horsepower than its German competitors. And that is the moment driving the Lexus GS will shift your perception. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Watch College Hoops live all season long on Watch ESPN. Download the app or visit watchespn.com.
Simmons has used her speed and touched it off glass. Simmons has Lister right where she wants him. Lister up, under, and in. Fogy. Right by Burdick. Unranked, and they get a big win over Tennessee. That was 4 weeks ago in Nashville, Tennessee, with a huge lead. And you see Tennessee has never lost to Vanderbilt here. In that game 4 weeks ago, Tennessee was up 10 with 16 minutes to go. Then the Lady Vols were outscored 43-24 down the stretch. And Marquez Webb going back to the dressing room for Vanderbilt. is not a good sign, as that freshman has been key for them. This is not a very deep team either. Both clubs here combining to hit their last 8 shots. Tennessee is 5 for 5 from the floor. And Megan Simmons has not taken a shot yet. Harrison is 3 for 3. Make it 4 for 4, excuse me.
The Lady Vols are 6 for 6. Very efficient with their offense, and it is because they are very focused on getting the ball inside.
Harrison had 10 points in 10 minutes in that game in Nashville a few weeks ago before she fouled out. Nashville was her hometown. And Tina Napier has called an offensive foul away from the ball, I believe, on Harrison. And indeed it is. Megan Simmons now on the bench. Jasmine Jones, number 2 in white, started 7 games this year and has been coming off the bench, and the last few is in, and now is guarding Lister. Riley Smith for Vanderbilt, a freshman, has checked into the game. As has Heather Bovey, and there is the quickness of Schran. How about Schran going down the lane?
Vanderbilt's so patient with their offense. And you'll watch, when a Vanderbilt player catches the ball, the defense is trying to recover. When you're trying to recover and not dictating the action, it gives the offense the opportunity to drive.
And Tennessee has missed its first shot of the night after hitting their first 6. Lister. She's so little, you figure, you got to think defenses think they can stop this kid, but then she just uses her quickness.
Well, she uses her quickness, and she does a nice job of using her body to protect the basketball so that she can get her shot off.
First bucket of the game for Lister. Averaging 15.5 per game. That is second to Fogey's 19.
Now, Tennessee needs to understand they can go to Bashard Graves just the same as they can Isabel Harrison.
She's got Bovey on her. Lost the ball. Fogey trying to get it up to Lister, who was able to chase it down and then waits for the troops. Fogey with the penetration, and travel called on Christina. Now Megan Simmons, after a quick blow on the bench, comes in for Burdick. Simmons has yet to take a shot, Carolyn.
But she has 3 assists. So she's looking to get the ball inside. And right now, Tennessee has executed their offense. The game plan has been to work inside out. Eventually, Megan Simmons is going to take shots. Since that Vanderbilt game, she's been shooting 52%. So believe me, she'll find her offense.
And Tennessee continues to have a concerted effort to score inside. Mercedes Russell, the freshman who just checked in, could not get the follow. Tennessee with just a plethora of big players that they can insert into the lineup.
Now Tennessee in a 1-2-2 full court press.
Fogey steps in, gets it out to Lister. Good job by Simmons to close on her.
She pushed off and didn't get called for it.
Carter gets the pick, goes by Fogey for the bucket. Tennessee jumps back on top.
Melanie Balkin told us this morning that she liked in that first meeting, even when Tennessee made their runs, Vanderbilt kept their composure, and that's a sign of strong leadership, especially from your seniors.
And she credits, they're going to get Bovey for a hook around Simmons. Offensive foul on Bovey.
Pretty good defense by Megan Simmons, and then Drea Carter there for the help and the pick to bring it in transition.
Andrea Carter, redshirt freshman, missed all of last year, played just a few games, and was very effective in her 5 starts, but had labrum surgery, back stronger than ever. She's the kind of player that will just lay it all out there.
She will, but against Ole Miss, she struggled. Not as confident at the point position as she has been in replacing Arrow Massengale, who, like you mentioned, has been out since the Florida game.
Ole Miss was the last game that Tennessee played. Vanderbilt, by the way, has been off for 8 days. And it gets into that old discussion of rest versus rust as they try to get back into the swing of things against Tennessee.
You see, Mercedes Russell is 6'6". She should be positioning to catch the ball, lead her right into a drop step so she can finish.
Bovey, who's guarding her, is 6 inches shorter. Carter goes left and got it blocked by Fogarty, who can't believe they called her for a foul. First one on Fogarty, the senior from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Fogarty led the league in scoring 2 years ago. Let's take a look. Was it a foul?
Well, it would not be if you consider the hand part of the ball, but that's not the way the officials saw it.
So that sends Carter to the free throw line. She's only hit 68% of them on the season. Had 2 points and 21 minutes in the first game against Vanderbilt this year. Gets 1 out of 2. Marquez Webb, by the way, is back on the bench for Vanderbilt and will check in at the next whistle. She went back into the locker room briefly earlier in this half. Backdoor cut. Good job by Carter to get in the passing lane. Simmons, first shot she takes, she makes. Simmons led the SEC in scoring last year. 2 years ago it was Fogarty for Vandy.
In Simmons' senior season, she has really recognized, as this year has gone on, what a good shot is, and that definitely was one.
Her shot attempts are down from last year, about 2 per game. That's a walk. Perhaps poetic justice that Vanderbilt didn't score there. Bogey looked like she took a few steps dancing with the stars out there.
Well, Holly thought so also.
Holly Warlick over there sporting the orange jacket.
You see, Bashard Graves is not even asking for the ball.
Jones with the miss. Oh, she got undercut and has a chance for a 3-point play.
Megan Simmons, the senior leader, much improved since the last Vanderbilt meeting, knocking down the 3, and then Bashard Graves, she's picking up the pieces with Isabel Harrison have to be on the bench with 1 foul.
Start the engine and shift through all 8 speeds of a transmission connected to more standard horsepower than its German competitors. And that is the moment driving the Lexus GS will shift your perception. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Cruncha, muncha, cruncha, muncha. Cruncha, muncha, cruncha, muncha. Fritos on my sub.
The new Fritos Chicken Enchilada Melt from Subway. It's the chicken enchilada with the gotta-have-it crunch. Subway. Eat fresh.
Static. Did you try calling him? Yes. Texting? Well, of course. Well, anything? Nothing. What about this? We've never used it before. I know. This is an emergency. Light her up!
With more than 450 agents in 135 communities, help is easy to find. Just visit FBITN.com.
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this.
There are things in life that cause us to hesitate. But once we do them, we're overjoyed that we did. Markets are changing, and interest rates are still low. If you're thinking about getting into the real estate market, now may be the time to make your move. Every market's different. Call a Realtor today and visit Realtor.com.
Welcome back. Tennessee has scored the last 8 points of this ballgame. Thompson Bowling Arena is very scary for a lot of opponents that have come in here, but Jasmine Lister of Vandy feels differently.
She's always going. Her level of intensity is great. She just threatened every single aspect of her game, and she won Player of the Year last year, so it's for a reason. Like, she's a great player, and to compete against that and to potentially beat her would be great.
Lister talking about taking on Megan Simmons. Simmons 1 for 2 from the floor, has hit a 3-pointer. And Simmons actually, after that game in Nashville, had a talk with her teammates, and basically said that she was feeling a lot of pressure, got a lot of things aired out in that team meeting, and things have been different for them since.
And Holly said she felt like the rest of the team thought that Megan Simmons was feeling that pressure, but to actually hear her verbalize it, I think that really, it unveiled everything to everybody in that room, and to help the team understand that Megan's under pressure and the pressure that the team has her back, that she's not in this by herself.
The last loss that they had was to Notre Dame. A couple of games after they lost to Vanderbilt in Nashville. Number 15 with the ball, Jasmine Jenkins, sophomore from Gainesville, Georgia. She's going to be the starting point guard next year when Lister graduates.
This defensive pressure that we're seeing now from Tennessee is the Tennessee of old. That man-to-man, moving your feet, active defense.
Jenkins passes up the 3 to take the 2. Averaging about 6.5 points per game, so the 3-guard lineup out there right now with Lister, Fogarty, and Jenkins. Lister and Fogarty played every minute, and they do play a lot of minutes. They play every minute in the first game against Tennessee. Marquez Webb back in there for Vanderbilt. Quick double team against Russell. Shot clock winding down. Graves, a little bit too strong, and Lister, the smallest player on the floor, comes up with it. Great defense by Jones. I think Lister knew she was behind her. That's 7 turnovers for Vanderbilt.
Now Jordan Reynolds is in to play that point guard spot. She had a big game and playing a little over 26 minutes in the Ole Miss game, and she was in command on the floor, and that's a freshman.
Webb at 6'1", the tallest Commodore out there, but they come away with it. Fogarty. Simmons is the fastest player maybe in the country, and she got back there and bothered that shot enough that Fogarty missed badly. Simmons' nickname is Speedy here, and that's a good shot left-handed by Jordan Reynolds. Timeout taken as Tennessee leads Melanie Balcom's club by 8. We'll take a timeout as well.
Hi, we're the Souls. We're new to town.
Welcome to Monroe.
So you can move more effortlessly.
Wanted to open a new account, checking and savings.
Oh, we can help with that.
We tend to do a lot of paying.
You play?
Yeah.
Discover a mobile app that lets you bank more freely and feel at home more quickly. Chase, so you can.
At one point, this game was tied up at 12 apiece. Now it's 22-14. Tennessee leading Vanderbilt. Pam Ward along with Carolyn Peck. Vanderbilt trying to win for the first time in this building in history. Tennessee, the deeper team, the taller team, with this lead. Vanderbilt with Melanie Balcom as their head coach, runs a variety of offenses, very patient and good in execution in the half court. Shot clock winding down. Fogarty passes it over to Webb. That's a tough bucket to get that over Isabel Harrison.
I think that last timeout Holly Warlick took was to discuss the defense. Jasmine Jenkins was left wide open the last time. You want to make sure that there's good communication when you're switching on screens and where your rotations are going to be.
And a foul on Webb. It's her first. Webb has fouled out of 7 games this season, most of them coming early.
Well, Webb got Isabel Harrison frustrated in Nashville. Harrison handling the physicality, and instead of retaliating and being called for her second foul, she just stayed within the game and kept her composure.
Harrison. I think she's trying to make up for some lost time.
That high release is beautiful.
She's in the double figures already. And another foul away from the ball. Boy, they're really careful and calling things closely away from the ball. That is a foul on Jasmine Jones, her first. Team fouls at 4 apiece. Inside, that's a nice execution. Beatty getting the inbounds pass from Fogarty.
Vanderbilt back in their matchup zone.
Harrison. She is a beast tonight. Last 2 games, Isabel Harrison has had 11 rebounds in each of those 2 games. She's got 12 points already, 6 for 6 from the floor. Schran tried to get it in over Burdick, and the ball goes over to Tennessee.
Isabel Harrison was only able to play 10 minutes in the first meeting, and this is exactly what Tennessee missed. Her rebounding, and man, I like the way she pivots away from the defense.
Legs up. Legs up. Legs up, legs up, legs up.
Verizon has free tablets and free phones.
Good job.
Get here any way you can. Free tablets, free phones on the best network. Only at Verizon. Get tablets like the Verizon Ellipsis 7 free. And when you trade in your old smartphone, you can get the Samsung Galaxy S4 free. Or the Droid Max by Motorola free. Plus, get a data plan with unlimited talk and text for as low as $45. This week only. Getting free tablets and phones on the best network? That's powerful. Verizon.
That's for Heidi?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
She's gonna love it. Right?
No.
She will not.
4 words. He went to Jared.
Jared.
Jared. Trust us.
Now step away from the jersey and nobody gets hurt.
Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, has a selection larger than ordinary jewelry stores, including unique styles you won't find anywhere else. The perfect gift.
I love it.
From an almost perfect guy. That's why he went to Jared.
What does everything mean to you? With the Quicksilver Cashback Card from Capital One, it means unlimited 1.5% cashback on everything you purchase every day. It doesn't mean everything as long as you buy it at the gas station. It doesn't mean everything until you hit your cashback limit. It means earn 1.5% cashback on every purchase, every place, every occasion, all over creation. That's what everything should mean. So consider, what's in your wallet?
Start the engine and shift through all 8 speeds of a transmission connected to more standard horsepower than its German competitors. And that is the moment driving the Lexus GS will shift your perception. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Todd Grisham with a studio update. Over on ESPN, Kansas has 6 straight wins against K-State. Marcus Foster with a big 3, and right now the Wildcats lead it by 3 with about 8 minutes to go.
Thank you very much. We are back here in Knoxville. Carolyn.
Pam, did you do his makeup?
No. Did you do his clothes?
That's my outfit.
There you go. Lady Vol fans have plenty to smile about as they are up on their arch rivals 26-18. 18 of Tennessee's points coming in the paint. 12 of those in only 7 minutes from Isabel Harrison, who is 6 for 6 from the floor.
Concentrated effort to get Isabel Harrison the ball inside.
As he passes out of the double team that time, Megan Simmons takes Schran to the hole and hits it off glass.
See, that happens because Isabel Harrison receives a double team. You reverse the ball, but the defense has to recover.
Simmons with 5 points, 2 of 3 from the floor. This is Tennessee's largest lead. Vanderbilt only 6 points in the last 7 minutes.
Tennessee not switching on any screens right now with Carter guarding Fogy. She's sticking with her like glue.
Otia Long has checked in for Vanderbilt. That's a bad miss and a shot clock violation. Good defense by the Lady Vols, and the fans here appreciate it. Coming up Sunday on ESPN at 1 Eastern. Play for K, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. Right back here, Kentucky will be taking on Tennessee. ESPN, a proud partner of the Play for K initiative, which raises money and awareness for breast cancer. We'll see you next week, 1 Eastern on ESPN. You can also watch live on Watch ESPN. Kentucky, sort of an enigma in the SEC, picked to finish second behind Tennessee in the regular season. They're 5-5 in the league.
Well, they've been known for their defense, but the Florida Gators hit 9 threes against the Wildcats.
Florida sweeping both games in the regular season against Kentucky. Amanda Butler's squad She doesn't have a lot of players, and they're little, but they play hard. And Burdick, that's 2 she's hit from that spot tonight. The lead is a dozen. Fogarty and Lister have taken just 6 shots combined. Simmons is guarding Lister. Fogarty, a little bit of daylight, hits the 3. She hit a couple of threes early and has been quiet for the last several minutes.
Carter can't help off Fogarty. She is going to make you pay every time you give her daylight.
Very dynamic backcourt. It's a nice move by Burdick, by Graves, but that would not go in. Nice pass. Beatty rid herself of Harrison. Morgan Beatty with 4 off the bench tonight.
Transition defense, not good for Tennessee, and Vanderbilt makes them pay.
Simmons directing traffic. A little screen and roll action that works to perfection with Harrison. Izzy 7 for 7 from the floor. Beatty, nothing doing. There were 3 Lady Vols waiting for that rebound.
Now the interesting thing to see, remember the Notre Dame game? They fed inside to the post, the Lady Vols did, and in the second half they forgot that game plan. Will they maintain, continue to attack inside?
It's the first miss for Harrison. Contact. Setting up a screen to free Fogarty. Webb is a good screener, and Fogarty has hit 2 in a row now.
Holly Warwick not happy. Tennessee has to understand there's 2 main players that you don't ever leave, and it's Fogarty and Lister. These 2 seniors have worked so hard, and they want to have a successful senior season.
Fogarty 4 for 5 from 3 tonight. Melanie Balcom said that having Fogarty and Lister out on the court, she said it's like having 2 Peyton Mannings out there.
That's a huge compliment.
Well, she picked a Tennessee quarterback, but
well, or a Denver Broncos quarterback. She's looking NFL.
And Indianapolis Colts won a Super Bowl there, of course. But yeah, just what a treat it has been, and she has talked about the legacy that Lister and Fogarty will leave behind. And she hopes that that legacy will continue with players like Jasmine Jenkins taking over the mantle. She's about to check in. Shot clock winding down. Lister well short. Katie Schramm gets it over to Beatty. And now Lister calls a play. Vanderbilt has quite a few plays in their playbook.
Very cerebral team. They can run a lot of different things.
And they'll have an opportunity to shoot free throws as Kylie Smith, the freshman from Atlanta, got inside. Vanderbilt, a very cerebral school, says the Vanderbilt graduate, Carolyn Peck.
Well, Tennessee has made the effort to get the ball inside to Isabel Harrison, and when you do that and the defense collapses, then it goes inside. But you got to reward the big girl. Keep feeding Isabel Harrison if the Lady Vols want to be successful.
Neil Lane designs for Hollywood's biggest stars.
Let's have a look.
Who is it for?
It's for Becky.
She must be important.
Oh, she is.
Now he designs for the star in your life.
Becky, will you marry me?
Yes! Neil Lane Bridal. Uniquely beautiful, handcrafted rings from Hollywood's master of vintage glamour. At Kay Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America.
Every woman should feel like a star.
Every kiss begins with Kay.
Wednesday, undefeated Syracuse takes their top ranking on the road, looking to avoid another scary finish against Pitt. Then,
should be all kinds of fun here tonight.
The biggest rivalry in college basketball returns. Duke.
Dropping dimes for easy score.
Versus Carolina. Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. Syracuse, Pittsburgh at 7, and Duke, North Carolina at 9. Wednesday on ESPN. The home court of college hoops.
I'm Luke Arnold, and I play John Silver in the new Starz original series Black Sails. Stars and Charter want to offer you the chance to win a trip to Grand Cayman.
5 days, 4 nights for you and a guest at Grand Cayman Marriott Beach Resort. Have a Pirate of the Cayman adventure cruise and travel with a $200 prepaid Visa card.
Go to stars.com/chartersweeps for your chance to win.
With the push of a button, you'll get Stars over 200 channels and access to mobile apps for TV on the go.
Watch the rest of the season only on Stars.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Todd Grisham here in Bristol, coming up on the Land Rover halftime report. Diamond was amazing for North Carolina. Her best game as a collegiate player. We'll revisit those North Carolina Duke highlights. And what's going on with Stanford? They lost to Washington. Carol Lawson tells us what the future looks like for the Cardinals.
We will see you very soon for that. Let's take a look at the top 10. Stanford dropping down to 6th. Duke will have a very short stay at number 3 after losing at home to Carolina tonight.
Well, this is what surprises me right here with Stanford dropping down to number 6. South Carolina lost to North Carolina and Texas A&M, where Stanford's loss is, one is to Connecticut, the other one was to Washington, but I think that's too big of a drop for the Cardinal.
Washington, unranked, big win in Seattle against Stanford yesterday. 10-2 run here for Vanderbilt that is broken.
So impressed with Megan Simmons' decision. She's not forcing shots. In her first 3 years, that might have been a shot instead of getting the assist.
Russell with her first basket. Fogarty with the lion's share of the points for Vanderbilt. She has 12 of their 28 points. And the ball goes over to Tennessee. Jasmine Lister, Carolyn, just 2 points so far. They're going to need more from her. Again, Lister and Fogarty combining for 45% of Vanderbilt's points this year, about 34.5 points per game between the two of them.
We saw in Nashville, Lister can get hot at any moment.
Harder left alone for 3, and she buries it. Andrea Carter hitting about 47% from long range on the season. And then getting and knocking that ball away from Fogarty.
Well, Carter needs to knock down shots and fill in the shoes for Ariel Massengale, who has been out since the Florida game. Massengale had brought that three-point punch for the Lady Vols.
5th straight game that Massengale has missed. She was officially listed as day-to-day, coming back from that knock in the head. That's Simmons. It's trying to pick up her defensive intensity. Lister guarded by Graves, and Graves is a whole heck of a lot taller, as is Russell at 6'6".
Lister tried to drive in the paint. Once she got in that orange, it got real dark.
A couple of trees out there. Lister listed at 5'4". 2 seconds left on the shot clock here.
She recognized that she had Bashara Graves on her and decided to try to take her off the dribble, but then she ran into 6'6".
Graves at 6'2". Russell at 6'6". And Vandy has very little time to get a shot off. Our officials, Tyna Napier, Bob Trammell, and Beverly Roberts having a discussion.
Now Vanderbilt's execution, they have a play for every situation. There's only 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Only Balcom, a ton of plays. Does not have a playbook per se, but the players have a encyclopedic knowledge of all the things that she has put in and tweaks over the course of the season. And of course, with people like, boy, seniors like Lister and Fogarty out there, what a luxury. As Fogarty gets to inbound. And they reset the shot clock. Boy, it went from 2 to 29.
Tyna Napier gave me the signal that Tennessee had possession of the ball, and that's why the reset of the shot clock.
Well, that's a big difference for Vanderbilt, obviously, not needing to get a shot off in 2 seconds, but Fogarty will do it anyway. Foggy now with 5 threes in this first half. She had 7 threes in a game against Georgia earlier this year, and that tied a Vanderbilt record. Lead is down to 6. Momentarily, Simmons with a 3.
Simmons taking on-balance shots and staying in her shot all the way through the follow-through, staying in line.
Simmons 2 for 3 from 3 tonight. Lister, a little head fake to get Jones away from her, but too strong off glass. Need to get those fakes to get the taller players off of the Vandy players. Vanderbilt with Lister and Foggy playing every minute so far. 3 reserves in there as Russell makes it look easy, and a timeout taken by Vanderbilt. So Vanderbilt, they close it to within 6, and now Tennessee has extended the lead to 11. Megan Simmons looking like a different player in the last few games for the Lady Vols.
Well, she's helping the Lady Vols establish first to get the ball to open players instead of trying to take quick shots. As Holly Warlick says, she was quick shooting the basketball. She's sharing the basketball because she knows eventually her time will come. She's playing with tremendous composure and within the flow of the game. She's not forcing shots. She looks very comfortable on the floor tonight.
Simmons with 8 points, also 5 assists to lead the Lady Vols in that category so far. Again, Ariel Massengale not out there to play the point for them. Simmons in her senior year, the only senior on this team.
You talked about Massengale not being with the Lady Vols, out with the injury, and it's as if Megan Simmons has taken upon herself to step up, be even more of a leader, not just a scorer, but a leader for this team, and setting the example for everybody else.
Melanie Balcom, when we asked her the difference she has seen on tape with Massengale out of the lineup, she said mostly it's just Massengale is, as you said, a leader, calming presence out there for this ball club. And here's some pressure from the Lady Vols.
Well, Massengale has had to calm down Megan Simmons. Now Megan knows she didn't have anybody. She didn't have a tranquilizer on the floor.
She has to be a self-tranquilizer.
She has to be self-soothed.
We're inside a minute to go. Foggy tangled up with Carter, who hit the deck. Jenkins calls a play with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. So much movement away from the ball for Vanderbilt. Little step back for Lister, who misses. Lister still stuck on just 2 points. Now Tennessee can kill all but 1 second of this half. Burdick coming in for Jasmine Jones. And Isabel Harrison comes in for Russell, who gets a good round of applause. Russell, the #1 recruit coming out of high school, the consensus of those who rate seniors.
Now Tennessee put Isabel Harrison back in. They got to use this shot clock, and I would say that that look is going to be a 2-man game. I would go Megan Simmons with Isabel Harrison.
At least a 3-inch advantage over Ratia Long, who was trying to guard her underneath for Vanderbilt. And they are indeed using pretty much every second they can. And Lister knocks it out. 3 seconds left on the shot clock now for the Lady Vols. And they have to inbound from midcourt. Burdick. In the backcourt for Simmons. She has to get one off. And that is the end of the first half. Tennessee takes a 42-31 lead into the half. Isabel Harrison was almost perfect.
She was fantastic, and she was the go-to post player that Holly Warlick needs.
Megan Simmons with 5 assists as Tennessee leads at 42-31. Time for the Land Rover halftime report. Carol Lawson in there along with Todd Grisham.
This is indeed the Land Rover halftime report. You're watching game 2 of our doubleheader tonight. Game 1, North Carolina at Duke. Duke had won 7 straight games over the Tar Heels, but that all changed tonight because of Diamond DeShane.
She was so good. I mean, Carolina came out so aggressive. It was their transition game that got going. But difference maker for them was beyond the arc. I mean, they hit a ton of three after three on the backside of that Duke pressure.
Big three there by DeShields. What a shock. And then later, second half, Carolina down 7. Duke fighting back in it. Elizabeth Williams with the basket. Actually, that was Jackson. And then Elizabeth Williams in the free throw. And all of a sudden, we got a game again. Later in the second, though, it's a 2-point game. Why not go to your freshman again?
Absolutely. Time after time, Duke closed the gap, and North Carolina had to answer. So impressive of a win for them to go into Cameron Indoor Stadium and come out with a double-digit win over the third-ranked team in the country. Great job by the Tar Heels.
Diamond DeShields, 30 points, a career high for her. She's just a freshman. I'm sure she'll be able to top that, perhaps at least, over the next 3.5 years. Carol Lawson, Todd Grisham. What does this do now for North Carolina? They lost 3 straight games. It's got to give them a big morale boost.
Absolutely. When you have a young team and you're able to come into an environment like that and perform, and Diamond DeShields is a star. She was the best high school player in the country coming out this season. Performance for her first game. It's a rivalry game against Duke to come out with 30 points. I thought Carolina showed better composure. This is a team that's going to continue to improve, and they're going to take lessons like this. The biggest lesson from this game is confidence that they can play with anybody. It was a big win, a statement win for them. A huge loss for Duke. And when you look at Duke's schedule moving forward, they play 4 of the top 5 teams in the ACC to end the year. I think there's got to be some worry there for them defensively.
And Duke plays North Carolina again in the season finale March 2nd. That game, of course, will be at North Carolina. As for the game you're watching right now, Tennessee leading Vanderbilt by 11 points. What's impressed you the most so far from the Volunteers?
Yeah, I think Tennessee has had an increased effort on the defensive end. Both teams are shooting the lights out, and so not necessarily has their defensive effort translated into holding Vanderbilt down to a low percentage, but you look at the effort there by Simmons and one-on-one defensively. One of the things Vanderbilt did so well in that first meeting was Lister and Fogey were able to get into the paint at will. One-on-one defense, when you're on an island potentially, how do you perform? And I thought Tennessee did so well. We see the offensive end. They shot 65% from the field there in the first half. I was most impressed with their defense. They switched some screens. Even Bashara Graves down the stretch had to play Jasmine Lister one-on-one in the wing. Not an easy task, but she moved her feet and was able to funnel her into a block. So Tennessee showing some signs of some great defensive possessions. That's key for them moving forward.
Again, Tennessee 28-0 all-time at home against Vanderbilt. The Commodores have never beaten Tennessee in Knoxville, and I'm sure a couple players that know that all too well. They're talking smack right now on ESPN W. How about former Lady Vol Michelle Snow tweeting, Isabel is going for blood after a slow start in Game 1 at Ball with the Vols. Hashtag not tonight, Bandy. And Commodore alum Chantel Anderson had this to say, she don't play small, might want to guard her. Talking about hashtag Jasmine Lister. Snow added, we volunteer to remove your anchor, LOL, laughing out loud. She was referring to, of course, Anchor Down. Make sure and catch all the smack talk on ESPNW.com. Washington has plenty of reason to talk smack to Stanford. They knocked them off. Kara tells us what went wrong.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Verizon. Getting free tablets and phones on the best network. That's powerful. And in part by Wendy's.
Be powerful. Connect. Verizon.
What does an apron have to do with car insurance? An apron is hard work. An apron is pride in what you do. An apron is not quitting until you've made something a little better. What does an apron have to do with car insurance? For us, everything.
Začala. Ja potrašujte piona milke kusočke, a zatem posypiu ich na большую чашу с мороженым.
I have no idea what you're saying, but count me in.
Peanut M&M for everyone.
Wait, what?
Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, presents a commercial for women only. This is Levion Chocolate Diamond Jewelry. Levion, masters of jewelry design for centuries, is the only company on earth to make jewelry with chocolate diamonds. And Jared is the only place where you'll find such an amazing Levion selection with styles you won't find anywhere else. Levion, that's why he went to Jared.
Welcome back to the Land Rover Halftime Report.
Perhaps the biggest upset of the year took place in the Pac-12 yesterday as Stanford, unbeaten in conference, goes down to Washington, who were 5-6 in Pac-12 play. Washington looked pretty good, or was it that Stanford looked so bad?
I think it was a combination of both. I thought the Washington backcourt played exceptionally well, but Stanford defensively, I mean, it was a poor performance by the Cardinal. One-on-one defense, kind of on an island there, and you see just the attack by the Washington players. Their points in the paint, it wasn't just post players, it was guards getting into the lane and creating offense. How about transition defense for Stanford? You take a look at the shot, and Stanford has a pretty good start to this transition defensive play, right? 2 players back, your 1 and your 2 guards. Well, watch as this play unfolds. Poor communication. 2 players go to the basketball, not matched up on a 2-on-2 break, and as a result, Washington gets a clear-cut layup after a missed shot. Again, one-on-one defense from their perimeter, and it was a huge struggle to contain the Washington guards right down the middle of the paint. No help from Stanford, the rest of the players in Stanford defensively. And you look at yes, they shot it poorly. I mean, they went 9 for 41 from three-point land. They shot it poorly, but defensively, this was as bad a performance as I've seen from Stanford this year, and they've got to rectify that, particularly on the perimeter.
I'm sure Stanford fans are hoping this is just a one-off performance. What do you expect from the Cardinal going forward?
Well, they have great leadership, and they got great performances from their front court players in Chinea Gwumake and Michaela Roche. So I think moving forward, this is a team that's just got to be more disciplined on the defensive end. When you shoot the ball poorly from the perimeter, as they did yesterday, this is a team that's got to buckle down defensively. And I just thought they had poor spacing, poor feet. On the defensive end, players got put on islands and got broken down one-on-one. They've got to be better as a team defensively.
Plenty to work on.
Sure, at this time of year, and they will work on it. They're a talented team.
They're the third-ranked team in the country. Stanford Cardinal, again, going down yesterday to Washington. And also, don't forget that Arizona State lost to Arizona. That might be just as big. As for Tennessee, they're holding serve right now, up 11 at home.
This halftime report is presented by Land Rover. Above and beyond.
This is the Quicksilver Cashback card from Capital One. It's not the juggle a bunch of rotating categories card. It's not the sign up for rewards each quarter card. It's the no games, no messing around, no earning limit having, do I look like I'm joking, turbo boosting heavyweight champion of the world cashback card. This is the Quicksilver Cashback card from Capital One. Unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, everywhere, every single day. Now tell me, what's in your wallet?
How do action heroes walk away from movie explosions and never look back? Lobster. That's how.
That's right. At Golden Corral, you can add a sweet and tender North Atlantic cold water lobster tail for just $3.99. Just $3.99. Only at Golden Corral.
A lobster tail for just $3.99?
Boom!
Honey?
Uh-huh. This Valentine's Day, spend less time communicating.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And more time connecting. With the Charmed Memories collection at Kay Jewelers, featuring NFL, collegiate, Disney, and Hello Kitty charms at Kay, the #1 jewelry store in America.
Every kiss begins with Kay.
I'm your tailgate grill. Your buddy was in such a rush to get into the game, he didn't quite put me out. I see you bought the industrial-sized bottle of lighter fluid. Smart. And if you got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get an Allstate agent and be better protected from mayhem.
Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
When you pay too much for cable, you feel down. When you feel down, you stay in bed. When you stay in bed, they give your job to someone new. When they give your job to someone new, he has a lot to learn. When he has a lot to learn, mistakes are made. And when mistakes are made, you get body slammed by a lowland gorilla. Don't get body slammed by a lowland gorilla. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
This halftime report is presented by Land Rover. Above and beyond.
Some sad news to pass along. Betty Janes, the founder of the Women's Basketball Coaches Association, has died after a brief illness. She was 68 years old, though she collected many awards and honors over her 38 years in women's basketball. She was known more for her mentorship and her tireless promotion of Title IX. Kara, what are your best memories of Betty?
Well, I first met Betty Janes when I was a middle schooler and going to the WBCA camps. And one of the things that stood out to me is that she was an encourager. She was somebody that really took players and coaches under her wing to try and help them achieve their dreams. And as I got older and was able to serve on a couple committees with her, to me it was her commitment and her passion for the game that stood out. So I feel fortunate to have known Betty and also to be someone that has been lucky enough to experience the success and the growth of the women's game because of her commitment to it.
And Betty Janes was elected to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2000. From everyone here at ESPN, our thoughts and prayers go out to the Janes family.
This is like having Thanksgiving every day.
I know, but better because it's not Thanksgiving.
The hotel wasn't nice to your father. We're staying here.
When's dinner going to be ready? Okay, yeah. I think you'd have a better chance catching the football if you put the phone down! Yeah! 5-second rule. Yeah. This is much better.
Slow roasted and carved thick. Oscar Mayer Carving Board gives you all the taste of the holidays without all the hassle. It's holiday, any day food. It's Oscar Mayer.
That's your new boss?
Yeah.
Well, your boss loves the beach.
Really?
She's been to London, Paris, and her son plays baseball.
You psychic?
No. I speak Pandora. He went to Jared.
Celebrate life's unforgettable moments with a fabulous selection of Pandora charms and bracelets, including this charm and bracelet exclusively at Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, telling her life story with just a turn of the wrist.
You're good.
I know.
That's why he went to Jared.
Be our guest. Be our guest. Let our magic do the rest. Just think of all the fun, Shelly. Your time will be the best. Meet the princess. What a treat. You've booked ahead, so here's a seat. Get on rides in less time. Makes every memory divine.
Stay at select Walt Disney World Resort hotels and enjoy new Fast Pass Plus during our test.
Be our guest. Be our guest. Be our guest.
10,000 once, twice, soon.
It's time for new Selsun Blue Scalp Itch treatment. It works at the source with the #1 anti-itch medicine, plus soothing aloe for fast relief. Selsun Blue Scalp Itch, science for your scalp.
Pollen used to put the brakes on my weekend drives, but the power of Allegra put me on the road again.
Allegra is effective even at 8 times high pollen levels. Non-drowsy Allegra starts working in 1 hour and stays strong for 24. Allegra, stop suffering, start living.
ESPN College Game Day is back. Hitting the big games, the classic venues, and the biggest party in college basketball. Join Reese, Jay, Dingle, and Jalen on the road again.
This is the best ever.
ESPN College Game Day, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. on ESPNU and 11 on ESPN.
Brought to you locally by Electronic Express, your ideal choice for electronics, computers, and appliances.
You're watching ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's.
Welcome back to Big Monday. You are watching the SEC on ESPN. Second half about to get underway in Knoxville, Tennessee, with a 42-31 lead over Vanderbilt. The Lady Vols shooting a blistering 66% in the first half. Welcome back, Pam. We're joined by Carolyn Peck. And Tennessee has a lot of very talented big players. They've been doing a good job of working inside out today.
Well, Isabel Harrison is making up for lost time, and she has been the go-to inside, but it's been a number of post players. And if you let the post players touch it, then that's going to open things up. They worked inside out, they worked the screen and roll, and they hunted those paint points. You see Isabel Harrison going to work down low. Bashar Graves on the glass. That's when Tennessee is at their best.
Christina Fogarty has scored almost half of Vanderbilt's points, and you see the points in the paint squarely in favor of the Lady Vols.
Now, will the Lady Vols continue that? Second half of the Notre Dame game, they got away from it, and they blew a 12-point lead. Will they continue to let the post touch the ball inside?
Andrea Carter starting again at the point. Ariel Massagale missing her 5th straight game for the Lady Vols with an injury. There's Simmons. Goes around and it rims out, but nobody checked Bashar Graves. Can't do that. Graves just 1 of 4 from the floor in the first half. Gets her first try this half. And if Vanderbilt wants to come back, they're going to need to get more from that player right there, Jasmine Lister, who quickly gave it up. Lister just 1 of 5 from the floor for 2 points in the first half. Schramm got it just absolutely smacked back by Harrison.
Carol Lawson in the studio talked about how she was impressed with the Lady Vol defense. For about 98% of the first half, the Lady Vols played man-to-man defense.
Vanderbilt shot 50% from the floor in the first half. Fogarty 5 for 8, the rest of the team 7 of 16. Webb over Harrison, missed everything. Webb getting the start again for Melanie Balcom. And this is the largest lead of the night for Tennessee. Vandy has never led in this game. Vandy beat Tennessee 4 weeks ago in Nashville, 74-63.
Well, in that game, Tennessee was using a T3 zone. They used a 1-3-1, even a triangle and 2. Man-to-man makes every player accountable.
Simmons left it just a bit short. Good hustle by Burdick. The ball tickles out to Carter. Long pass inside to Harrison. She gathers and scores. She has been virtually unstoppable, now 8 for 9 from the floor.
You know what Tennessee is doing, too, is they are valuing every possession. If there's a loose ball, they're going after those 50-50 ball, getting position, getting possession. They paid a lot of attention to that in practice.
Got to find Simmons on the perimeter. Timeout, Vanderbilt. Tennessee picking up where they left off. They have scored their last 12 points of this game, and the lead has ballooned to 18.
Well, their offense, it has a lot of order to it. They're looking to get the ball inside and make the defense have to collapse. And then when the concentration of the defense has to be inside, it opens up things on the perimeter.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Wendy's.
Be powerful. Connect. Verizon.
At Domino's, we make your pizza by hand with fresh dough and 2 layers of cheese.
I think of myself as a craftsman, and these are my tools.
Order a Domino's 2-topping pan pizza for just $7.99 and taste just how good handmade can be.
What does everything mean to you? With the Quicksilver Cashback Card from Capital One, it means unlimited 1.5% cash back on everything you purchase every day. It doesn't mean everything as long as you buy it at the gas station. It doesn't mean everything until you hit your cashback limit. It means earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase, every place, every occasion, all over creation. That's what everything should mean. So consider, what's in your wallet?
Hey, Kevin. Still eating chalk for heartburn? Try new Alka-Seltzer fruit chews. They work fast on heartburn and taste awesome.
These are good.
Told ya.
Feeling better already?
New Alka-Seltzer Fruit Chews. Enjoy the relief.
Honey?
Uh-huh. This Valentine's Day, spend less time communicating
Happy Valentine's Day.
and more time connecting. Discover the new Diamonds in Rhythm collection at Kay Jewelers. A shimmering center diamond is always in motion, continuously catching light from every angle. And right now, you can save up to 30% on Diamonds in Rhythm at Kay, the #1 jewelry store in America.
Every kiss begins with Kay.
The Sprint NBA All-Star Celebrity Game, Friday at 7 on ESPN.
Back at Thompson Bowling Arena, Tennessee with a big lead over Vanderbilt coming up Sunday on ESPN2 at 1 Eastern. Play for K, part of Rivalry Week. Presented by Wendy's. You'll either see Wisconsin take on Penn State or Bedlam as Oklahoma takes on Oklahoma State. ESPN, a proud partner in the Play for K initiative, which raises money and awareness for breast cancer. That's next Sunday on ESPN. Check your local listings. This is the battle of the state of Tennessee in the SEC. And Vanderbilt has been on a big drought. Break through Jasmine Lister with just 2 points in this game. She did have a season-low 4 points against South Carolina back on January 26th as Harrison hit the deck.
We talked about the drought of Vanderbilt. They have not scored since the 2-minute mark to end the first half.
Coming up on 4 minutes now. That foul was on Andrea Carter, her second. And another quick foul called. Second one on Isabel Harrison. Harrison has been the offensive star, certainly for Tennessee. 16 points in this game after fouling out after only 10 minutes of play when these two teams played in Nashville 4 weeks ago. Webb at the line hits the free throw. Izzy is a Nashville native. Her dad went to Vanderbilt.
Dennis Bigfoot Harrison had a terrific career in the NFL.
Izzy had a very short stay on the floor in that game. A little no-looker from Burdick trying to get fancy. Tennessee hanging on to the basketball as Harrison will inbound. Vanderbilt 0-28 all-time in Knoxville. Good screen to get Simmons free. She is heating up. 14 from Megan Simmons. 4 of 5 from 3 tonight. 19 points, the biggest lead of the evening for Lady Vols. Lister looks frustrated out there on the perimeter. And another foul out there on Carter. That is 3 on Andrea. And she's going to come out of the ball game. Jordan Reynolds, a freshman from Portland, Oregon, coming in.
Well, Carter's called for the foul because she reached and touched. They have that no-touch rule. And instead of just skinning her feet through on the screen, tried to use her arm.
Lister missed everything. And Simmons, the fastest player on the court, puts it in. A 21-point advantage. Simmons has scored the last 8 points for Tennessee. Melanie Balcom going to get a couple of subs in as soon as possible. Webb working against Harrison. Left it short. And Tennessee, the best rebounding team in the SEC. Vanderbilt, the worst. Tennessee winning the battle tonight. Graves inside, got fouled.
Watch Simmons in transition as she catches the ball. You think she's fast, then she picks it up another gear to beat everybody down the floor.
Kylie Smith called for the foul. Pat Summitt, who recruited Megan Simmons, says she is the fastest player she's ever had. And you see it's been the 1-2 punch of Simmons and Harrison. We're used to the 1-2 punch on the other side with Fogy and Lister, but it's been the inside-outside combination of Simmons and Harrison for Tennessee tonight.
Well, Harrison in Nashville, in 10 minutes, she scored 10 points. And just imagine if she had been able to stay on the floor today, staying out of foul trouble, Tennessee has been able to benefit from her presence.
Harrison with just a couple of fouls tonight. Graves converts at the line. Izzy played 10 minutes, had 10 points, was 5 of 8 from the floor, also 5 rebounds, but did foul out in that ball game, including a technical. Burdick with the block on Jenkins, and then a little extra stuff. Good job by the Tennessee teammates of Burdick to pull her away a little bit.
Well, as Jasmine Jenkins penetrates by, it's all ball. Sierra Burdick on the block. Then there was a little extracurricular activity between Jenkins and Harrison. And Harrison, I think the Tennessee players reminded her of what happened in Nashville. You don't want to pick up a technical and get over emotional in this game.
Third block of the night for Tennessee. Lister just saves it into Smith, and now Fogey's going to try to set up. Fogey has not scored in this half after scoring 15 in the first half. Jenkins in big trouble. And another shot clock violation. The Lady Vol defense, which has been spotty and inconsistent this year, has been very good tonight.
So impressed with the Tennessee defense. All 5 players are down in a ready position. They're ready to take care of each other. You see the rotation over by the post if a guard gets beat. They are not leaving their individual players on an island.
That is the 3rd time Vanderbilt has had a shot clock violation in this game. Bovee unable to hang on to it. Megan Simmons says kick it back out to Reynolds, and Burdick did just that.
Look at the freshman directing traffic, getting everybody in the right spots.
Reynolds and Russell, 2 players out there, freshmen from the state of Oregon, played AAU together, and both decided to come play their ball here. Simmons with the runner, just a bit too hard. And ball goes over to Vanderbilt. Timeout on the floor. Megan Simmons and company looking really good. Up 56-33.
Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry here. See this larger-than-life diamond? It's there because I'm a larger-than-life jewelry store. Dan here needs a Julie, please spend the rest of your life with me ring. Well, my selection is truly unique, including up to 10,000 loose diamonds, the Tolkowski Ideal Cut, and Leo Artisan. My expert staff guided Dan to the perfect ring, which he then delivered with all of his heart.
Yes.
And that's why he went to Jared.
Give extra, get extra.
All right, guys, let's huddle up here and talk probiotics. For digestive health? Yes, and did you know that True Biotics is a daily probiotic that helps in 2 ways? It supports digestive and immune health by working in your gut, where 70% of your immune system lives. Try True Biotics today.
How do action heroes walk away from movie explosions and never look back? Lobster. That's how.
That's right. At Golden Corral, you can add a sweet and tender North Atlantic cold water lobster tail for just $3.99. Just $3.99. Only at Golden Corral.
A lobster tail for just $3.99?
Boom!
Welcome back. Tennessee owning the second half so far. Vanderbilt just 2 points on 2 free throws, and the reason is the Lady Vol D has been stout.
I have been most impressed with the Lady Vols defense tonight than I have all season. They have played strictly man-to-man, and they have not given up on plays. One player might get beat, but the help has been there, and they have been relentless to come up with the basketball. If Tennessee plays defense like this the rest of the season, hey, they could be playing for a long time in March.
And you see in the first half, Vanderbilt shot 50% from the floor, and they are 0 for 5 in the second half.
Megan Simmons getting over a screen. Earlier in the year, she would have gone behind the screen or run into the screen. The focus and intensity is on the defensive end for the Lady Vols.
Fogarty was so impressive in the first half. Simmons misses from the outside, and now Lister, who has only 2 points tonight. Nowhere to go with Reynolds in her face. Fogarty with the drive, tough shot off glass. Vanderbilt's not getting any offensive rebounds, are they?
Now, we got to see what the Lady Vols do. The last possession, quick shot by Megan Simmons. They started doing that in the second half of the Notre Dame game. Do they get back to, nope, you got to go back to execution and attack.
Jenkins gets tangled up, and a foul is called on Burdick. The first for her. Sunday on ESPN at 1 Eastern Time, Play for K, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. Right back here for Kentucky and Tennessee. ESPN, a proud partner in the Play for K initiative, which raises money and awareness for breast cancer. Join us Sunday at 1 Eastern on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. Kentucky trying to right its ship, just 5-5 in the SEC, 17-6 overall. Just coming off a loss to Florida. Florida beat them both times they played them in the regular season this year.
It's just a matchup issue with Florida and Kentucky, because Florida is so small, and they've got shooters.
Speaking of small, Vanderbilt a lot smaller. Everybody's smaller than Mercedes Russell in this building.
That's true. But you watch how Mercedes Russell takes care of Bashard Graves. It is a team effort defensively for the Lady Vols.
And the fourth block for Tennessee, 2 of them belong to Russell. Fogarty off again. And Vanderbilt just can't buy a bucket. They still don't have a field goal in the second half. Also posting up against Bovey, wanting the ball. Huge height advantage. At least 6 inches taller than Bovey down there, but another moving screen on Jones this time.
The block charge call is one of the most difficult, because they talked about impeding the progress of the offensive player. They weren't going to allow that. But then Jones gets called for the offensive foul. That's a tough call.
Jones, good hustle, but could not catch up with it. Let's go back and take a look at that last foul that Carolyn referenced.
Now, did the defense beat the offense to the spot? They're both moving. It looks like the official saw that it was the offense that displaced Lister. They're both moving. I don't like that
time. Jones on Lister, who just can't get a clean look at the basket tonight. 1 of 7 from the floor is Lister. And they depend so much on Lister and Fogarty. 45% of their scoring. That's a sweet pass inside to Graves, who blew it, but hung with it. Graves hanging in there, got the ball over to Russell, who got fouled.
The unselfish play of the Lady Vols. Bashard Graves, she misses the first shot, gets the offensive rebound, and really receives the double team, but she finds Mercedes Russell. Russell is able to draw the foul.
Russell going to the free throw line. Natural left-hander, writes left, and plays basketball right-handed. Tia Long checks in for Heather Bovey for Vanderbilt.
And Pam, I know that we have 12 minutes and 46 seconds left. And this year, so much has been made about freedom of movement, want to see more offense. I have enjoyed watching this game, and it has been on the defensive end of what the Lady Vols have done.
Vanderbilt still looking for its first field goal. 7.5 minutes into this second half. Lister just cannot get free.
Look at Jones, just constantly up the line, denying the ball.
Long challenges the bigs inside, comes up short. Simmons is out of the game. Reynolds in there to run the point. Carter also on the bench for Tennessee. A lot deeper than this Vanderbilt team. And Vanderbilt in an offensive slump of epic proportions, down 58-33 as we take a timeout.
We decided to settle this. A steel cage death match of mid-size sedans. The Volkswagen Passat against all comers. Turbocharged engines against engines. Best-in-class rear legroom against other class legroom. But then we realized consumers already did that. Twice. Huh. Maybe that's why nobody else showed up.
How does one get out of a death cage?
The Volkswagen Passat, starting at $21,945. That's the power of German engineering.
I'm Jay Billis, and I'm here to tell you to cast your vote for the John R. Wooden Award, presented by Wendy's, the award for the best college basketball player in the country.
Majestic, isn't it?
To win this bad boy, you've got to have skills.
Rebounding, passing, defense, dribbling, shooting.
Skills like those possessed by these guys. The Wooden Award 5.
To vote for the best college baller and meet the Wooden Award 5, go to woodenawardvote.com.
I'm Luke Arnold, John Silver from the New Stars original series Black Sails. Set during the golden age of piracy, you'll find a lawless paradise controlled by history's most notorious crews. Upgrade to the Charter TV Gold package to watch the rest of the season, only on Stars.
With the push of a button, you'll get Stars plus over 200 channels and access to mobile apps for TV on the go. Catch new episodes of Black Sails each Saturday only on Stars. Go to channel 2495 and upgrade instantly using your remote.
You know, millions of people have saved with Progressive, so I get invited to quite a few family gatherings. Heck, I saved Judith here a fortune with discounts like Safe Driver, Multi-Car, Paperless. You make a mighty fine Mrs. Milady. I'm not saying Mark's thrifty. Let's just say I saved him $519, and it certainly didn't go toward that ring. Am I right? So visit Progressive.com today. I call this one the Roblox.
Sunday on ESPN2 at 3:30 Eastern, Play for K, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Wendy's. We will see either North Carolina and NC State or South Carolina LSU. ESPN, a proud partner of the Play for K initiative, which raises money and awareness for breast cancer, coming up Sunday on ESPN2. Catch these games. Check your local listings to see what you will see. South Carolina, a possibility, and Dawn Staley's club in first place in the SEC.
Well, that's because they have a tremendous post game as well, and it'll be interesting the end of the season seeing South Carolina and Tennessee going head-to-head.
That they will close out the regular season against each other right here at Thompson Bowling on March the 2nd before the SEC tournament starts. And again, the top 4 teams in the standings. Reynolds banks one in. The top 4 teams in the regular season standings get an all-important double bye in that SEC tournament. Second year that we've had 14 teams, Missouri and Texas A&M, the newcomers.
I like Holly's playing the young players, especially giving them the assignment of defending Lister and Fogarty. That's the future of the Lady Vol program.
There is Holly Warlick in her second season. Katie Schran coming in for Jasmine Jenkins. Lister and Fogarty, the 2 seniors in this Vanderbilt team, Carolyn, has not hit a field goal. Graves was called for a foul for Tennessee. 0 for 12 now in the second half. Long crashes to the floor and a held ball possession arrow in favor of the Lady Vols. So 15 trips down in their offensive end for Vanderbilt in this half, and all they have to show for it are 2 free throws.
And it's not just that they're missing shots. The defense of Tennessee has affected, and especially Jasmine Lister. She has not gotten anything easy, any kind of easy look tonight.
Lister just 1 of 7 from the floor, and that's after she blistered Tennessee for 22 points in game 1. Fogarty had 21 in that win in Nashville 4 weeks ago for Vanderbilt. He has never won in Knoxville. And it's not looking so good tonight. Shot clock winding down. Long took it away from Burdick. 2-on-1. Long gets it, or tried to get it over to Schramm. That's not a good pass. Lister finally gets an open look and hits it. A couple of Lady Vol defenders kind of collided with each other, and Lister took advantage of it. Just her second made field goal of the night, and she is the first person other than Christina Fogey to hit a 3 this evening for Vandy.
This is about as easy a look that Lister's had all night, and it's just because two Tennessee players getting to her, they knocked each other down and out of the way, and that's how Lister got the shot.
Tia Long was just called for a foul holding Isabel Harrison. Long's first. Dinah Napier says it's Vanderbilt basketball. Good crowd on hand here at Thompson Bowling, especially considering the late tip at 9 local time. Great rivalry between these two schools. That Lister 3, by the way, ended an 11.5-minute drought without a field goal for the Commodores. That's a step, and they got Beatty for it. Tennessee really clamping down on defense here in the second half, and they're running away with it.
Well, there's still 10 minutes left to go. A sign of whether Tennessee has turned that corner and is ready to be on the stage and try to go after an SEC title. It'll depend on, can they finish this game with that same intensity, or will they let up?
They've had a few games this year where their second halves have not matched their first. They blew a 10-point lead in the second half against Vanderbilt and Nashville, and that rather infamous second half against Notre Dame, in which they had a halftime lead and then scored only 24 points after halftime.
And it can't be about making shots. It has to be, where is your defense and your focus, and can you maintain that for 40 minutes?
Megan Simmons cutting through the lane for her 18th point.
I'm watching Carter and Fogey. The only one that Carter and Simmons are switching with is if they get screened with each other, but they've got to keep an eye on Fogey and Lister.
Foul on Simmons.
Simmons catches, and then on the drive receives the screen by Isabel Harrison, posting up. She takes it all the way to the basket.
Megan Simmons, the only senior on this team, 8th in Tennessee history in scoring. Christina Fogey heading to the free throw line. Vandy in the bonus for the rest of the half. And this is the easy way to get points for them. Fogey's an excellent free throw shooter. And that is her first point of the second half after she put in 15 on 5 threes in the first half. She had 6 threes against Auburn earlier this year, a career-high 8 against Virginia last season. But Tennessee has really kept her from getting any looks at the 3 in this half.
Man-to-man defense.
Burdick foul, goes to the line. Warlick said that her defensive plan would change for this game. Face guarding Fogey and Lister, and as Fogey and Lister goes, Vanderbilt certainly goes.
She even mentioned the possibility of using a triangle too. That hasn't even been necessary. I like the mentality that Holly Warlick has instilled in her team for this game, and that is everyone is accountable man-to-man, individually, to defend your player, but also if you're defending the basketball, you can trust that your teammates have your back and good rotations.
Sierra Burdick with 2 free throws. Tennessee led by 11 at the half. Vanderbilt's only scored 7 points, now 9 in this half. Marquez Webb, the freshman from Hoover, Alabama, getting the start tonight. Now trying to defend Isabel Harrison, who made a nice pass over to Graves to beat the double team. Graves frustrated with herself that she couldn't get it home.
But the thing she's got to do is not get frustrated. Just continue to work. You see her body language. That will defeat you as much as missing the shots. You got to move on. Next play. Let it go.
Graves had a terrific freshman year, the SEC Freshman of the Year last year, averaging over 13 points per game. Her scoring down to around 10 points per game this season. Isabel Harrison was not healthy last year for Tennessee. More contact as Burdick and Webb hit the floor, and they're going to get Webb with the foul. Number 2 on her.
And I thought that was incidental contact.
Burdick needs to find someone. She finds Harrison. As we approach 8 minutes left to go in the game. Nice roll to the bucket for Graves. Count it on the Simmons assist.
Megan Simmons
foul
on the drive, and then the dish to Bashara Graves. That's how you finish the beast.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Verizon. Getting free tablets and phones on the best network. That's powerful. And in part by the Volkswagen Passat. That's the power of German engineering.
Legs up.
Legs up.
Legs up, legs up, legs up.
Verizon has free tablets and free phones.
Good job.
Get here any way you can. Free tablets, free phones on the best network. Only at Verizon. Get tablets like the Verizon Ellipsis 7 free. And when you trade in your old smartphone, you can get the Samsung Galaxy S4 free. Or the Droid Max by Motorola free. Plus, get a data plan with unlimited talk and text for as low as $45. This week only. Getting free tablets and phones on the best network? That's powerful. Verizon.
You work hard to stay healthy. You deserve a multivitamin that supports your efforts. One A Day Men's is a complete multivitamin with more of 10 key nutrients that provides nutritional support specially formulated for men. One A Day Men's.
We decided to settle this. A steel cage death match of mid-size sedans. The Volkswagen Passat against all comers. Turbocharged engines against engines. Best-in-class rear legroom against other class legroom. But then we realized consumers already did that. Twice.
Maybe that's why nobody else showed up. How does one get out of a death cage?
The Volkswagen Passat, starting at $21,945. That's the power of German engineering.
It's a pot pie. I didn't know KFC had pot pies. I didn't know anyone had pot pies. You hear that? It's a pot pie. Look at that. Chicken, peas, carrots. Look at that crust. Pot pie, drink. One of KFC's $3.99 combos.
Todd Grisham, Carol Lawson with a studio update over on ESPN Kansas. In Kansas State, the Wildcats have lost 13 of their last 14 to the Jayhawks, but they're not going to take it anymore.
No, they're not. The Little Apple is rocking. Omari Lawrence with 9 points off the bench for the Wildcats.
They are hyped. It's 50-42 midway through the second.
Always a great rivalry there. This is the Battle of Tennessee. Bashara Graves, right before he went to break, thought she had an and one opportunity, but instead it was called an offensive foul.
I think this is a bad call because I don't think that Marquez Webb was set before Bashara Graves started her upward motion. That was a new emphasis this year. When the offensive player is starting up, the defensive player has to be set, and she was not set.
But instead, the foul was called against Graves, who is now on the bench with 2 fouls. So 16 fouls against Vandy, 8 against Tennessee. The next Vandy foul will put Tennessee into the bonus for the rest of the half. Tennessee has owned this second half. Vanderbilt just 2 of 14 from the floor. Now 3 of 15 from the floor. Webb has 6 of her 10 points in the second half.
Post players for Tennessee going to sleep defensively. You can't have lapses if you're making that step forward as an improved team.
Megan Simmons running the show for Tennessee out there with Harrison, Burdick, Russell and Carter. Simmons for 2. Another 20-point game for her. Katie Schran, risky, goes into the paint and had nowhere else to go. Simmons with the advantage over Lister, height-wise, gets the home roll. Simmons' 6th 20-point game of the season, leading this team in scoring at about 15 points per game. Taking better shots as of late. Her assists are up, her field goal percentage is way up, and Marquez Webb has done some damage in a couple of games against Tennessee.
And she is scoring at ease right now over 6'6" Mercedes Russell.
12 points in this game, had 12 points in the first game a few weeks ago in Nashville. As we approach 6 minutes left to go.
Vandy just sitting in his zone.
Harrison fouled by Webb.
Simmons coming in transition. And this is a good decision for the shot. And the hard step, jab step at Lister, just to have the defense freeze for a second, gives her time to get her shot.
Simmons already about 5 inches taller than Lister. Got even more separation with that nice fake. 3 fouls on Webb. Sends Harrison to the line. So Burdick out. Yasmin Jones back in for the Lady Vols. Harrison working on a 20-point game herself.
And Tennessee has kept a big guard. I know every guard's bigger than Jasmine Lister, but a big guard, so it has taken away any easy vision for her to the basket.
Lister, yes. Lister with a couple of threes in this second half, but just 8 points for her. 7.5 below her season average. Bogey had 15 in the first half. She has not scored a field goal in the second half. Marquez Webb has just picked up foul number 4. The most storied conference in college athletics lives on a new 24/7 network coming this August. Go to getsecnetwork.com. Ask for the network from your TV provider today, the SEC Network. Now, great teams and a variety of sports in the SEC that will be highlighted. Mercedes Russell 1 of 2 from the line. Only a 40% free throw shooter on the season coming into this game. Tennessee 5 minutes away from going to 9-2 in the SEC. Texas A&M also with 2 losses in the league. Simmons, nobody's going to catch her. 24 points for Simmons, another good shooting night. 10 of 16 from the floor. 16 of Megan's 24 points have come in this half.
A lot of people say that you learn from a loss. Tennessee learned from their loss against Vanderbilt. Number one, Vanderbilt is not a team that you can zone. Number two, if you're going to play man-to-man defense, you have to commit to it. You have a responsibility when you're on the ball, and you got to trust the other 4 players behind you have your back.
And a huge hand, many of the fans here at Thompson Bowling giving Megan Simmons a standing ovation. And you see she had a good first half, 3 for 4 from the floor, but just kept it going with 16 points here in the second half.
And she made good decisions.
Yeah.
With her assist, when to take shots. She didn't quick shoot the basketball, didn't force things. and it came within the flow of the offense.
5 assists for Simmons, also doing a good job drawing and sharing the defensive assignments on Jasmine Lister. Lister 3 of 9 from the floor. Just 8 points for Lister. After she burned him for 22 in game 1, switching up the defensive scheme certainly has worked. Fogey's first field goal of this half. That's a 2.
Vanderbilt had 8 days to prepare for Tennessee. But I don't know if it's the layoff of being rusty, but at the intensity that Tennessee brought.
Give the 3 to Jasmine Jones, her first bucket of the night. This has been all Tennessee.
It's a pride thing. This is rivalry week. And so Tennessee had a point to make, especially going to Nashville and losing in the first meeting.
Schran gives it up to Carter. And she decides to pull the ball back. 54 points is the fewest that Vanderbilt has scored this year. That came against Missouri. Harrison called for steps. So Tennessee well on their way to their 20th win of the season. We'll be back. Let's go to Todd Grisham in the studio.
Thanks, Pam. Over on ESPN, some concerning pictures here for Kansas State fans. Marcus Foster had 15 points in this game. Goes down hard. It looks like an ankle injury. He would be helped off the court, has not returned to the game. Right now, K-State leads it by 5 with 7:33 to go in the second. Back to Knoxville when we return.
Introducing the new Fritos Chicken Enchilada Melt at Subway.
Wait a minute, the Fritos go on the sub?
Cruncha Muncha on that. With tender pulled chicken, authentic enchilada sauce, and Fritos corn chips on top.
New Fritos Chicken Enchilada.
Subway. Eat fresh.
I'm your tailgate grill. Your buddy was in such a rush to get into the game, he didn't quite put me out. I see you bought the industrial-sized bottle of lighter fluid. Smart. And if you got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get an Allstate agent and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
We decided to settle this. A steel cage death match of mid-size sedans. The Volkswagen Passat against all comers. Turbocharged engines against engines. Best-in-class rear legroom against other class legroom. But then we realized consumers already did that. Twice.
Maybe that's why nobody else showed up. How does one get out of a death cage?
The Volkswagen Passat, starting at $21,945. That's the power of German engineering.
Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry, presents a commercial for women only. This is Levian Chocolate Diamond Jewelry. Levian, masters of jewelry design for centuries, is the only company on earth to make jewelry with chocolate diamonds. And Jared is the only place where you'll find such an amazing Levian selection with styles you won't find anywhere else. Levian, that's why he went to Jared.
Welcome back. New look for Megan Simmons. She's got a victory towel on her head. Her night is done. She's had a terrific performance this evening all the way around. Not on our need-to-know players, but more performances like this tonight, and she will work her way in, and that's just a terrific quartet of players. But you would say Odyssey Sims is your National Player of the Year, correct?
I watched her put up 33 points against Oklahoma State in person. I haven't seen a player that can shut down Odyssey Sims by herself one-on-one. I've seen even 2 defenders come at her. But the thing that I like most about Odyssey Sims is she makes the rest of the players around her better.
For more on the need-to-know players, log on to ESPNW.com. And remember, Baylor lost 4 starters from last year, including Brittany Griner. So Odyssey Sims is the only returning starter, and so much is on her shoulders, and she has borne it very well.
And she's moved from the point guard position really to a 2 guard. Nia Johnson's running the point for the Baylor Bears.
Shanae Grumake has been terrific, obviously, for Stanford, averaging a double-double. Brianna Stewart, a matchup nightmare.
She really is. She's a tough player.
For Connecticut, and Kayla McBride, who has been tremendous for Notre Dame. Andrea Carter dials up a triple. And this has been from the get-go, Carolyn, Tennessee's been very impressive. At the very beginning, the concerted effort to get the ball inside to Izzy Harrison, and then when you get the outside scoring from Simmons and players like Carter, you're pretty lethal.
And Carter stepping in with Ariel Massengale being out, able to knock down shots. They appear to not have missed a beat.
Jasmine Jones called for the foul.
But this is what I like about Tennessee tonight. The intensity that they brought defensively. At shoot-around this morning, I said, Holly, Tennessee's pretty much gone to 60 or 70% zone. You know, how has that transition gone? And she said, well, we've had to change some things. They've really put a focus on the defensive intensity, and I believe she challenged her team today to say, you know what, we're not going to rely on the zone. It's man-to-man. We're getting back to the Tennessee style that championships were built on, and that's the intensity on the defensive end.
Holly Warlick with Megan Simmons over there on the bench. Simmons, her only senior. Of course, when Pat Summitt was here, didn't play a lot of zone, did Pat Summitt. Was it the Baylor game? Was that the first time really you saw a lot of it?
When she was going to face Brittany Griner, that was the first time that Pat Summitt started a game in a zone.
Jones took a couple of steps in from three-point range. Here's a 3-on-1. Now 3-on-2 as Carter gets into it. And a block.
No quit. The defense for Tennessee is no quit. They turned the ball over. They didn't just give it up. Carter chased it down, and then Reynolds stays in the play to get the block.
Jordan Reynolds with the stuff, and that's a sign of a next-level team. You see it with teams like Connecticut, no matter what the score is, and usually with Connecticut it's horribly lopsided, they play hard all the time, so that's a good sign for Tennessee to see them playing hard to the end.
You know, the best part about this game, Holly Warlick has it on film. So whenever there is a letdown now, she can go back and show her team what they are capable of.
That's the best part.
It is the best part.
Just show it.
Let me tell you, as a coach, because when you have a letdown, you can go back and go, there's no excuses for you to have a letdown. I watched you play Vanderbilt for 40 minutes with the intensity and man-to-man defense. I know you have it in you.
Fogy back to the free throw line. It's her 5th point of the second half. Christina just with 1 field goal in the second half after she was 5 of 6 from 3 in the first half. Fogy and Lister in game 1 combined for 43 points in the win against Tennessee and Nashville. Different story tonight.
Man-to-man defense. In the first game, Tennessee played a lot of zone. Holly Warlick saw that did not work.
Lister with 8, Fogy with 20. Usually they combine for about 34.5 points per game. Lister is on the bench, which is an unusual sight. And Mia Moore, the crowd cheers. Moore does not get a lot of playing time. The sophomore from Chicago comes in and gets a bucket. He averages about 8 minutes per game.
But when she gets in, she's shooting over 57%. The post players for Tennessee can finish. The Lady Vols have figured out you got to get them the basketball.
And a great performance for Tennessee, leading this one from wire to wire. Tennessee about to go to 20-4, their 39th 20-win season. Vanderbilt goes to 0-29 in Knoxville. And Tennessee with a strong showing to stay in second place behind South Carolina in the SEC. Vanderbilt, on the other hand, this will be their 3rd loss out of their last 4 games. And right now working on their few points of the season, their lowest offensive output, and you got to give the credit, even with Fogey's bucket, it will be the lowest output of the season offensively. It was just too much. Isabel Harrison and company inside, Megan Simmons and company from the outside. Holly Warlick with the big win tonight.
The defensive intensity that she brought man-to-man for about 98% of the game.
So Tennessee wins it 81-53. Coming up next year on ESPN2. Well, we'll be back with Megan Simmons. You've been watching ESPN, your exclusive home for the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship. Let's go back to the college basketball studio with Todd Grisham, and then we'll be back right soon with Megan.
Let's jump right into some highlights. Thank you, Pam. How about Kansas at Kansas State? It's going on over on ESPN. There's Bill Self, second half, score tied at 37. Shane Southwell with a beautiful pass to Thomas Gibson. Southwell would come up limping, though. Later in the half, same score. Marcus Foster, he's got 15 so far. With an injured ankle, had to leave the game, but he looked good when he was healthy.
Yeah, he's one of the best freshmen in the Big 12. A lot of people talk about Andrew Wiggins and Joel Embiid, but Marcus Foster's been terrific for Bruce Weber.
That was Will Spalding. It's now 60-55 with about 5 minutes left to go. Alongside Kara Lawson, my name is Todd Grisham. Since losing to Vanderbilt back earlier in January, Tennessee now 7-1. Their only loss to Notre Dame. Have they found their form?
I think they found their form in this game. Now, whether they can continue to replicate that, I think that's the biggest issue, is consistency for Tennessee, particularly on the defensive end. And we saw that tonight going against one of the best backcourts in the country when you talk about Christina Fogey and Jasmine Lister. And you look at their commitment on the defensive end, that was big. One of the players we talked about in the earlier halftime, Andrea Carter, freshman point guard in the starting lineup, I thought she played really well when you talk about moving the basketball, defensively, steals, solid defense against those guards. So I think that's been a big push for Tennessee on the defensive end, and Carter certainly upgrades them on that end of the floor.
Tennessee with just 2 losses in conference, but they've still got Kentucky, LSU, and South Carolina to go. Does this look like a championship team in your eyes?
Well, certainly South Carolina has been the most consistent SEC team, but this certainly is a race that's still up for grabs. And you look at the remaining schedule, just like South Carolina controls their own destiny, Tennessee does as well. They're going to get an opportunity to play the Gamecocks, and we'll see. That should be a great matchup. But you look at this team, they still have everything in front of them. If they can continue to get consistent interior offense and defend on the perimeter, yeah, watch out. This could be a championship-level team.
Obviously a bad night for Vanderbilt, but they lost at Knoxville again. They've now gone 0-29 all time. But let's focus on the positive. Tennessee back in the winning column. They've won 20 games again for the 38th straight year. Let's go back to Knoxville.
Todd has been Megan Simmons, 22 points tonight. Another great effort by you. What was the big difference between game 1 when you lost to Nashville and game 2 when you guys just had them from the get-go tonight?
Energy from the get-go. And preparation was a lot better. We actually had a better day of preparation the day before. And when we were in shoot-around today, like, everybody was really, really focused. The coaches were energized. I mean, they were telling us what we needed to do out there on the floor. And we just came out and we just played hard. And we just played Tennessee basketball like we do best.
The first time you played Vanderbilt, you had a poor shooting night. Since then, you've been shooting about 52%. What's been the difference?
Just being confident. Being confident in my shot, taking the easy shots, getting in and out, hitting the post players, getting assists early on, kind of getting into the flow of the game. And just, like I said, making easy shots and just getting my teammates involved and staying focused.
And as far as tonight's game is concerned, Fogey and Lister really hurt you guys in game 1, as they usually do most teams. They're a great combo back in the backcourt for Vanderbilt. What did you do defensively to shut them down tonight?
We got them frustrated headed early on in the game, and I know Lister got a little bit frustrated. And we have the utmost respect for Jasmine Lister and Christina Fogey. They're great players. We give them a lot of credit for the last game that they played against us, but we knew that we had to take them out of the game. If we did that, I mean, everything else would fall into place.
In previous games, you all have played majority zone. Mm-hmm. You went full man-to-man today. What was that like?
It was a lot more fun. The game went a lot faster. I mean, in the zone, sometimes you can be a little stagnant and the game can go a little slow. But today, our man-to-man, we've been working on it for the past week and a half or so. So it's just been a great progress. And what we did in practice the past couple of days has really shown.
Tennessee on a roll right now. Another great performance by Megan Simmons. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Looks
guys.
like Tennessee is going in the right direction. Let's send it back to the studio.